Alright, a wonderful good morning everybody and welcome back here to my channel. Today we're trying a couple of things because I want to showcase them in the current meta. So what you see here is probably the most mid-rangey approach to our deck that we've seen in a while. I've added Liliana of the Veil to deal with a couple of bigger threats, as well as having the ability to get around, say, Sanctifier, Anvak, etc. So stuff that has protection. A couple of lists are also running Tolarian Terror right now. And Liliana, of course, can also deal with a Resolved Archon of Cruelty, if that should arise. So, on that, a little bit of value here with the Croxa. I do want to have either Liliana or a Seasoned Pyromancer to being able to ditch, like, later in the game, also Thoughtseize, etc. And then Fury also combines pretty well with the Croxa, as I can either ditch it with a Liliana or I can ditch it with the Fury, depending on the game we're playing. Oftentimes, Croxa is just a dead card, and in other matchups, it's just the best card we have. So, yeah. On that, of course, we have quite a bit of disruption, but we'll also play quite a few creatures. I wanted to have a good spread between creatures, something that goes a little bit taller, something that goes a little bit wider, so I think that's fine. And then the sideboard, mainly removal spells, a little bit of graveyard hate here. I haven't seen too much graveyard decks running around yet, although we might have to add it again. And then there's Over the Old Form, a card that has been rising to popularity in the last couple of days due to Archon. Just seeing a lot of play, because if you are discarding it to Archon, you can just copy the Archon and basically have your opponent sack his version and then attack with him, even if there are two Archons, as long as you're sacking it to the second copy or to the second trigger. It's still like a very good play. You can even deal with two Archons, so it's a very good sideboard card there, and I put in 2 copies here. Alright, let's jump into a league, see how it goes, and then after this league we're gonna go with a more control-y version with cryptic commands and with fatal pushes in the main board and more instant speed. Alright, welcome to round number 1. We're on the play here, and we're playing against a motherfucker. It's been losing to me quite a bit. Alright, let's keep this. Alright, so this is personal. Let's see if we can win it. In it to win it. I think I'm still gonna shock here, just so I have also access to Drawn Loch, which I wouldn't have with Cascade Blast. Just the stomping rounds, no multicolors. Alright, Fury not playable yet. Need to draw something that this is pretty bad for us. Alright, so we're playing against Scapeshift. Alright. As long as there's no fetch land anymore, we have an issue. Oops. So let's see. Mm. If I draw a red card, Fury can deal with the Dryads. And he'll have to fetch twice. That will put 5 cards in his bin. I think if I draw a land, then Snapcaster Mage obviously is the best card in my hand. So let's discard the other subtlety here. Alright, cool. Yeah. Okay, so that's gonna go out. Crux, I think I can also just ditch the lightning bolts here. Not really good. I think I want to have the dotties. Now we have way too few red cards to also facilitate the Fury here. So I guess we're gonna go with a couple of pushes for the thing, and then we could also go with Torak for discard. So I think because with the Drown Loch we're not gonna be able to do a whole lot anyway. We're gonna start off with a Consider, see whether or not we can find a discard spell to prevent either a turn 2 Renin 6 or a turn 3 Dryad. So question is, do I ditch this? Can I afford to ditch it in order to find discard magic? Probably not. I can still ditch subtlety, of course. Alright, let's try again. Okay. Yeah, we won't stop at the Sakura Tribal there. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I think. But maybe we should go with the Thoughtseize here. Just to have an idea on what's going on. And also, of course, it helps the Drown Loch. Hold on. What a keep. So I could actually bring in the Snapcaster Mage here, but I think it's not really worth it. I do need another Bullag source for the Torak. If we were to draw another land here, yeah, I think I'm just going to deploy the Torak here. Because we have the Subtlety as backup, and we know that our opponent doesn't have a whole lot other than lands. So let's get rid of a couple of those, because next turn he won't be able to play a Titan or Scapeshift yet. And hopefully he didn't draw a Veil of Summer over the top. That would be bad, of course. Okay, so Mountain and Buzeju. And now we have a blocker as well. And this comes in tapped, so this was probably a mistake. He cannot attack here unless he has a Lightning Bolt. There's the Dryad. And now we probably have to respond here. And I think I'm going to ditch the Snapcaster. And then next turn we can still go, like if he repeats this play, we can just go Subtlety first to put a little bit more pressure on him. And then we can drown him the turn after that. And now obviously also blocking becomes a little bit more difficult for him. Yeah, because he cannot fetch right now. Wants to have the Dryad. Put it on top again. And I think the last card in his hand is a forest, so currently it doesn't have anything. Again, he cannot fetch, therefore we're just gonna go in. Perfect. Good draw. This is of course 5. The forest, he needs to have another mountain as well. Yeah, and for these situations you can see how like good the Salty is. And Dwarven Mine is actually a card that has really improved a couple of matchups for Scapeshift, as that's just both a threat and just a good defender in between. We're gonna counter this because obviously he could put another mountain in play or whatever. So now that we are on the draw, I think I have to change a couple of things. I think Croxa is generally speaking a little bit too slow. And I might want to put in Furies again to be able to deal with that probably means that I also have to get rid of the Doddies, right? Then we have the Lightning Bolts again, so that Furies can deal with both Renin 6 and Dryad. Or is this too much? Should I rather go with Fail Push here? I'm gonna go with this. I think on the draw it's okay. Nope. Opponent instantly kept 7 as well. So I probably have to go with a drown here. Because we don't have another black source or blue source. Salty needs to be in my hand. Our Mage Charm is a good counter, and we need this as removal. I mean, I can consider anyway in the first couple of turns, so let's go. Let's do this. Alright, so now we can deal with the Dryads, which is good. But this is gonna be a Ren and 6, and then we have an issue. Can't deal with the Ren and 6. If I go Subtlety here, which I probably have to. That gives me a shot on either drawing a counterspell. Fuck. Alright, let's try to pretend that we have something here. But our opponent is not a good player and probably just gonna play it into our counter magic anyway. Or not. Okay, let's shock here. So, what did he do here with the thing? Did he put it on top, actually? No, he put it on top. Did he fetch afterwards? I'm not sure. Something's definitely weird. Oh well. Okay, so the way our opponent's playing this, I think I'm gonna go try to find another black source so that we can go Torak. Of course, it's possible that our opponent does have a Veil of Summer. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna try to find a counterspell as well. Our opponent's gonna... Oh my god. Okay. So we can do multiple things here. I could of course go with Liliana, which is a little bit more of a safe play because I have a counterspell after that, the fact. But if I do that, then Valakut will instantly kill Liliana. But maybe it's still the safest play I can do. Okay, I can make. So I go to 11, I go to 10 from this thing. We discard one thing. Let's try. And then next turn, this way we can play around a Veil of Summer just a lot better. There it was. Alright, so I think we did everything correctly. On the other hand, though, as I said, like any mountain now is a really big issue for us. he's just attacking us, which makes sense. So the last card in his hand doesn't seem to be a mountain. Never mind. Yeah, I think the only option now is... Fuck. So we need to hope that our opponent has a creature, because anything but a creature is gonna kill us anyway. And I can't also... Like, if I shock here and go with a Torak, then a lightning bolt kills us as well. But I think at this point, because with a dwarf he can attack us anyway, this way I can at least protect our Lily. There's a couple of dead cards as well. That's not all lethal for us. I think I'm just gonna, like, if he attacks me, the difference between 2 and 1 doesn't really matter. Let me consider first. Okay. A lightning bolt off the top. Okay. I see. That doesn't really matter to me. So I'm not gonna go with a Sands Launch here. We're just gonna discard this. And now we just have to do, like, ditch one more turn, basically. And then we can actually kill half of his lands. And this is actually something that we can counter with our subtlety. Alright, so now we're in a spot where I put it on top. Okay. So now that I know he put it on top, I think I still can't do, like, I have to separate things. Okay. So this and this and this. I'm just gonna put red cards in one pile, so that he can't play the Ren and 6, so that he has to choose the other one, I think. This one, 2 mountains, 3 mountains, 4 mountains. These are 4 mountains, so that we have 1 additional mountain available. Or this way it would have a dwarf though. Can I go? So I know the Ren and 6 is on top. That could kill us, right? But I do have a counter spell for that. So he will still likely go with this one, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. This way he has 4 mountains. He needs another mountain. He cannot play Ren and 6, so the top card is dead. Yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, perfect. Alright, and then we can actually kill him in 2 turns, right? This is 9. Yeah. I think we're in a good spot, people. Whoops. No, I can't. There you go, my friend. Let's give him a smiley. There's always some salt coming, so he's gonna start insulting. All right. I should have reported this player a long time ago. He always loses. He always complains. There was even one time when he chatted me privately, like sent me a private message after the game. All right, let me just type something real quick. So yeah, we're wasting time here. I told him that I had his like previous games on screenshot, which I actually have. As I said, like we met twice before, and I know this person. Like we played Blue White Control this time around, and here I was on Humans, and he was on Death Shadow or whatever. Um, and every time he complained and insulted. So, yeah. There we go. I knew you would fucking bend, motherfucker. Alright, welcome to round number 2. We're on the play here. I have a little bit of a difficult hand. So we don't really have a good turn 2 play. And we need lands. And our turn 1 play is also not optimal. Obviously, we have a little bit of disruption. Croxa is at least a discard spell, and if we were to draw another land, then we have K command, and we can subtlety off of the Snapcaster Mage. So it's not all bad, but it's also not all good. I think on the draw I would keep this. On the play though, I'm not sure. Oh, let's keep it. Let's try. See where it goes. And then we're gonna start off with a Creeping Tar Pit so that I don't have to fetch this for Water Grave, so that we actually have multiple colors. And then, as I said, if we're playing against an aggressive opponent, then the subtlety should be helpful, and otherwise we'll just go with Inquisition on the draw. Alright, so we're playing against Urza, not Urza, Titan, Primeval Titan. And I don't want to, like, ditch the Arboreal Gazer. Alright, now we also did get one of those. That's good, because now we have the Snapcaster Mage to get it back. Oh, alright, we're playing against Scapeshift again, but a Scapeshift that's also playing Urza Saga. Or, this could also be the case, Maybe we are actually playing against... I've seen some Titan lists that are playing Scapeshift as well as a one-off, which is somewhat weird, but can happen, I guess, because otherwise he will never activate the thing, right? It's a little bit weird, but okay. So our opponent definitely needs Dryad to get his Volakut online. I don't even think, like, if this is not a Scapeshift, just too many non-mountains, right? Alright, so we could go with Croxa. Alternatively, I could also go play the Cascade Bluffs here. Maybe I want to play the Croxa later, because then with the K command I can kill... We will have to see what he gets off of that Saga, though. Huh. If it's an Amulet, of course it's Amulet Titan, but it could be something else as well. Yeah, it would be really weird if you didn't go with this right now. So I'm gonna let this resolve. I want to see what it is. Okay, so it's an Amulet. So he won't be able to play another land this turn, right? So I could kill a construct here and make him discard. Or I could, of course, also go with the Amulets and kill a construct. That would also be possible, because the Scapeshift is pretty dead for quite a bit. Still, right? But I want to pressure his hand as well, because then the Croxa becomes better. Let's go discard and destroy artifacts. Alright, okay, good choice. Good choice. Now I can get rid of the Scapeshift, and my opponent... I mean, the worst or the best draw for my opponent is probably even a Dryad, right? But we could deal with the Dryad theoretically. Okay, so Scapeshif's gone. I have one more fetch here, so I could actually even play the Snapcaster Mage into the construct just to get another card into the graveyard, because that would then... He cannot utilize a Summoner's Pact as well. I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna block here. I can fetch for this as well, so I don't... It was pretty aggressive, but I think getting Croxa out here has priority. Must have priority, basically. Because afterwards, we have a good clock, we have a good defense. There's another amulet, which he probably should have played. It was a little bit too obvious what I did there. Yeah, alright, conceded. So, Scapeshift's interesting. I think deck's pretty fine as it is. I don't necessarily need the lightning bolts, TBH. I can go with a couple of fail pushes. I probably want to have the dotties. I can ditch at least one Cruxa. I think one Cruxa is fine. But probably want to... And then let me rather ditch this. Maybe even go with a Torak here. Yeah, I think this is okay. Because the fail pushes are going to be decent both against Dryads and against Saga constructs. No, I don't think I'm going to keep this. Mana isn't good, and it's also a little light on disruption. So I'm gonna start off on the Creeping Tar Pit, and I probably don't want to have this, right? Yeah. Lair of the Hydra go. Alright, so this way we can go turn 2 Croxa into turn 3 Archmage's Charm. And the Cavern of Souls is annoying, but it's not too bad for us because we have the Subtlety. Alright. Okay, so now I think I'm not gonna actually go... with the Croxa here. I suspect that the Dryad's coming down, and I would rather respond to the Dryad than not having a the Armor Gem, because if he's putting the Dryad out now... Human, okay, so it's the tracker. Oh, it's a Zuza, alright. Yeah, and at least he played it correctly. And he's gonna get the Cavern back. Okay. Has to get the Cavern back, right? Unless you have 5 other humans in hand. Alrighty. So now I think I'm gonna go with a Croxa, and the reasoning is that I wanna have him discard cards so that we have the ability to at least... Oh, Burial Gaze and kept it in hand, so he doesn't have that many more lands, probably. Titan or no Titan, that is the question. He must have the Titan naturally in hand, of course, in order to do stuff here. He's Scapeshifting? Wow. Well, on the plus side, though, this means that more than six cards, or maybe he wants to have... Is he that scared of the Croxa? This is so weird. This is a weird play. Yeah, he wanted to have a Bojuka block here. Was so scared of the Croxa here. This is really awkward. Alright, so he's gotten the Bojuka block back. Let's see if he's gonna put it on himself. If so, obviously the drown lock's gonna be bad. Alright, Cavern. Try it. Yeah, that's gonna resolve. Alright, so I can respond here. I think I'm gonna do that. The only issue is that, because then he doesn't get a second land drop, that's why. The only issue is that, okay, so it did get a Summoner's Pact there. Alright, that's cool. That's actually pretty cool. Let's see what he does now. Just have another Cavern. Wow. That's pretty dope for him. So I think we board Crux out. I think I still need another black source also for, let me see. Yeah, we brought in one of those Torax. And he didn't even need the Summoner's Pact. That's wild as well. So his last two cards are Summoner's Pact and Bojuka Bog. I put the Titan on top, which makes sense. Alright, Liliana is actually a good card here. I could, of course, also, like, if I go with the Lily now... Fuck. So let's see. He doesn't have an amulet, right? So he's probably gonna go... But if he starts off... with the Bojuka Bog, which would be the right play here... Can't make it hasty, right? And he also can't play two of them. So I think I have to go with a Lily here, because that will allow me to go snap, because he's gonna discard the Bojuka box, so I can go snap drown next turn. I don't have to spend the Liliana here, because the Titan's on top, right? Yeah, and then I'm gonna ditch the counter spell, because that's the weakest card and the most inflexible card in my hand right now. Yeah, he's gonna go with the Bojuka Bog, and then next turn I can tick up with the Lily, unless he's bouncing stuff, which he could be doing as well, of course. I mean, we have a counter spell for the thing as well, so it's not too bad. I can also take down with the Lily, but he's probably getting... No, he's not. Oh. Alright, yeah, that's actually something that I didn't consider here. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, okay. Because he had already the Boris Garrison on the battlefield. That makes a lot of sense. So question is, I mean, he can haste the other thing anyway, right? So I actually have to prevent that from happening. But then he will just get Tularia things. that will cost 3 in addition. And then we can't get rid of the other one anymore. Not an easy spot here. Maybe I should have done that differently altogether. This must be a mistake, right? Because now... But I cannot prevent the other one from coming down. Do I have to let this go? I have to take the damage here. I think I have to. He didn't get Solarius. That's really weird. But okay. So let's hope that our opponent didn't... Well, he could actually Summoner's Pact for... an Endurance here. Okay, didn't do that. And he's also on a clock. Yeah, we're gonna counter this. Cavern, okay. Beast. Nothing. Well, okay, so now I'm feeling pretty good. Could even attack with the Torpid as well, but I don't think that makes sense. Keeping the subtlety up is probably just better. We attack it in for 5, unless our opponent has an endurance here. And then next turn we have lethal. And we know that he has a couple of lands in hand, so he has to have something right now. And he conceded. Alright, GG. Alright, welcome to round number 3. We're on the play. And we have a little... like, we always have a little bit of a weird starting hand here. But I'm going to keep off of those considers. And then the subtlety either just needs 1 blue or... I can also ditch the Archmage's Charm if necessary. Island Ethervile, we all know what this means. And this means we're playing with the Merfolk here. Which is why I want to have the Fury, although I of course need more red mana first. Let's see whether or not we can find a discard spell. Takanuma is not relevant, okay. So I can either go, let's assume he has a Tide Shaper in hand, right? So I could try to trick him into like playing Blood Crypt here to provide me with a blue source that I would otherwise not have. But that might be a little bit around the corner. And then I would still have to wait for the Creeping Tar Pit to also do something. And then we don't have double red anymore for Fury, alright. And we could also draw a blue source off the top, of course. Which would be great, because I really want to steal that Ether Vial there. Yeah, and Merfolk, I mean, out of the triumvirate of viable creature tribes in Modern right now, between elves, Merfolk, and goblins, the Merfolk are probably the most independent of the meta. Alright, so this is a good draw. I even think, I'm not sure, like, we have to play around both a Force of Negation and the Hexcatcher. I think I'm gonna do it right now. Because I think the Hexcatcher is more prevalent in Merfolk decks these days. It's possible that he has a Force of Negation, of course, but the Hexcatcher... I think many Merfolk decks have actually ditched Force of Negation for the Hexcatcher. Alright, good. So now it's going to be difficult for our opponent. So this could be a Sviolun. If that's the case, then I'll probably have to utilize the Furies, because Sviolun is just too strong a card. Lol. What? Why did you play Massive Pearl Tridents after the fact there? Alright, so we're flooding out a bit, which is unfortunate. So next turn I can go with a Fury anyway. Our opponents also play subtleties themselves. So even if I were to ditch the Furies here... Let's see. I think I want to try to get the Furies and hardcast them. He's attacking with a Massive Pearl Trident as well? Why? What does he have that warrants this play? I don't know. I honestly don't know. So if I'm gonna go with subtlety here, right? I mean, I could also just try to block with the Creeping Tar Pit, but maybe he has a Dismember. Alright, I'm just gonna let this resolve. Take the 5, because I want to have my subtlety in response. Elemental. Oh, Merfolk again. Alright, there's the Sviolun. Yeah, and then it's worth it to keep the subtlety up here. And then the only question is whether or not my opponent has a subtlety in hand. Yeah, he does. Shit. And then we have an issue. Then we have a big issue. Do I put this on bottom then? So I have to play the Fury next turn. I think I have to bottom this to kill the Suilun, right? Oh, I can't even. Oh, fuck. It's a 4-5 now. We draw another subtlety. If we had drawn a red source here, then we would have a little bit more play. So we're taking at least 7. If he's attacking with a Mutavolt as well, we're just dead. Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I can't get rid of him. So I would need to play Fury here, ditch Fury, kill these two. Then he still has this dude, which we just fucking can't get rid of. Fuck. That's probably the only way we stay alive here. Alright, let's go. LOL. He has a second subtlety. And now, even if I subtlety here, I don't have the mana requirements to get after him. Wow, this is insane. Okay. Wow. What a hand as well. Wow, 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 wow. Alright. Alright, so, I mean, we have a couple of things here. So I'm gonna ditch all of this, I'm gonna ditch this, I'm probably even gonna ditch Counterspell, fuck Counterspell. Oops, not this one, but probably... Maybe I will actually want to have this. And then let's go. So obviously, this way we can't steal an Ether Vial, but we can still destroy it with a K command, so that's fine. Also, we have the means of inquisitioning our opponent. Wow. That has to be, like... That's certainly one of the most... Ether Vial into the thing that draws a card, and then Lord Suilun double subtlety up. Crazy shit. And he still made a mistake by not naming Elemental, unless he wanted to bluff that he didn't have one. Not sure. But anyway. So hand's not super bad. But we will have to find more lands. But I think I have to keep this. Grim Lavamancer is super good in the matchup. Question is whether or not I want to go start off with a Grim Lavamancer here. But that means fetching 4 Steam Vents, and then I don't have access to Fail Push at all. Well, maybe I won't have access to Fail Push anyway, right? Now let's start with the Grim Lavamancer here. Because Grim Lavamancer can deal with almost anything in my opponent's deck, except for maybe a Swirloon and the Subtleties. And the Consider will fill the graveyard, so we just need to find another land amongst the top 3 cards of our deck. It does have Aetherval again. We already have an answer to it, so as long as we are to draw lands here, it's not too bad. Come on. Okay, so that's also a good card, but still... Okay, good. Okay, so this should be able to keep us afloat for a bit until we draw the 3rd land. And then we have a really good hand. So I think if we make it to a 3rd land here, we're out of the woods. Unless that happens 10 turns from now, but otherwise I think it's okay. He doesn't have an island, so he also kept a really, really weird hand. Yeah, apparently so. Let's fetch for triple, and then any land goes. Okay. Yep, that's good. All right, we made it to 3, and now I think our hand's pretty decent. We can even kill the Aetherval next turn if we want to. Doesn't really matter what our opponent's putting onto the battlefield, because Grim Lavamancer can deal with all of it. We're gonna do it before he can take up with the Aetherval, obviously, so that no Lord comes in between us and the Tide Shaper. He's gonna draw an additional card. Do I want to respond here? I think I do. Just in case. Could have also played the Plague Engineer, TBH. Maybe that would have been even better. Okay, so but now he has to have Force Negation, otherwise the K command. Oh, okay. Attacking with the Mutavolts. Alright, target player discards a card and destroy target artifact. Of course, I want to do this as long as he's still tabbed with Aetherval, because, again, Hexcatcher. Okay, so that resolves, and now we're definitely good here. I think the only card that can remotely get problematic for us here is Swirloon, and even there... My cat's standing in front of the door again. And even with the Swirloon, I mean, he can't cast it anyway, so... Yes, cat, please come in. Oh yeah, by the way, so tomorrow I'll be going on vacation for a week. We're gonna be traveling to Rome, so I won't be uploading. Yeah. Oh, he lost connection. All right. So I won't be uploading any new stuff for at least a week. Let's see if I get to it next weekend. But that's also why I'm gonna put out a little bit more content today to, you know, keep you busy for the time being. And that gives you the time to actually watch the games for the entirety of the 2 hours or whatever I'm going to post. because on average people are only like watching for like 15 minutes of the videos, which is not a lot. Alright, so apparently he wants to beat us down with mutavaults. That's not going to work, and now we're pretty good here. So we even have a subtlety as a backup. Let me go with the Snapcaster into Consider, I think, so that we have a little bit more of pressure on the battlefield, and I will actually also want to have another land if possible, so that subtlety is a thing. Well, can't really ditch a lightning bolt as well. And there's a fury. Alright, so we have everything this game. Let's see. So I'm just going to attack with both. If he activates the mutavault here, we're just going to kill it. Yeah, alright. That's why I didn't go with the Kolaghan's command. I wanted to play around the forced negation here. I mean, yeah, Tide Shipper, that's gonna be a very short thing. Let's ditch this and maybe this. And then we're just gonna attack in again. Apparently our opponent doesn't want to give up yet, which is fine. Obviously he hasn't completely lost because he doesn't know what we actually have in hand. And I guess this is Suilun, yeah. But Suilun is also gonna die. So I could go... I mean, he already knows about my Fury, right? So it doesn't really matter. Unless he has a subtlety here. Oh man. Okay. I'm just gonna bottom this, and then we're gonna go to this. So that means our opponent's completely out of everything. I don't want to show him Plague Engineer, actually. So I'm just going to keep the Grim Lava Man's back. And... oh, maybe not. Maybe this is just a little bit too... I guess he could still draw another Svilun or whatever, so... Merfolk. Merfolk. There we go. And this should... yeah, our opponent gave up. So, pretty good there. Is there anything that I not wanna have? Oh, I think it's good. I think there is an argument to be made to put like another Thoughtseize in, like for one Croxa. That's definitely something that we could do, but I think we have so much removal. I can keep this as well on the draw. We have so much removal that we should be able to bridge enough towards the late game. Let's see. Does have an ether vial again? What the fuck? And this is something that I generally think is correct. And that's that Modo gives ether vial decks a preference, like withdrawing ether vial. I've seen it myself on various occasions with humans, because like you have ether vial in hand more than you should. Okay. Actually, I could also just have this be the case here, because then that would turn on Drownloch. Well, let's see. We definitely need to draw one more land. Swirlun will, like, is able to get us whenever and wherever. Just a very, very strong card, especially against control decks, because it also protects the other shit. Oh, fuck you. I think I have to go with a salty here. That will delay it one more turn, so that gives us 2 more draw steps to find a solution to it. So I think I have to ditch this. Steam Vents is not where I actually want to be. Okay, now I have a solution with the Fury. But now I have to kill this, because it will otherwise make the Swirlun a 4-5, and then the Fury isn't good anymore. So either a red source or a fetch land. Oh, come on! We had to consider in everything. We're on the draw here. Fuck this shit. Now we really have a problem. He will get an extra draw if that extra draw is either salty or fuck. So I have to do this beforehand. So he's not activating here. So I'm gonna do it in response. Yeah, so now he doesn't have the ability to... Alright, Ward 1. To also activate an attack with the Meteor Volt. Dude. Unreal. Just need a fucking fetch land. Or a black source. Okay. What the fuck is going on here? Why did he activate the Mutavault there? Oh shit. Yeah, I see. Because he wants to make it indestructible. Yep. Alright. That was well played. Then the beforehand, the thing was also not a mistake. Then with all of this, the whole sequence, I take back what I said, was well played. Very, very well played by opponent. Okay, so thing is, now the Liliana is actually not as good anymore, because he's just drawing the Mutavults here. And Lily can't really do a whole lot against that. Okay, So let's see. I've not drawn a single fetch land this game yet. Whatsoever. I wonder if this means that he actually doesn't have a whole lot in hand. Or if it means that he does indeed have a subtlety in hand. Because he went up with the Ether Vial before. Oh, come on. Fuck my life. What the fuck is going on here? Like, oh my god. It's really like... Also, I think the only combination of cards that we cannot play here, it's like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Swilun. Not Swilun. Silver Galadept. Alright. So he's sandbagging. At least a couple of things. And this is... You gotta be fucking shitting me. Alright, so Moto didn't want to like let us win this one. This is like the sequence and the things that we drew here is like insane. And now we're also dead. It's okay. Moto, I accept. What the fuck? Like, any red card lets us play Fury, any blue card... Okay, he doesn't want to kill us yet, apparently. And there's a Swilun as well. This is fucking insane. Fucking insane. Yeah, great. So, we could deal with this now, but then it's afterwards. It's, yeah, well... Fuck my life. Dude. We've drawn 19 cards, not a single fetch land. Or second black source. Dude, what? What? Okay. Alright, welcome to round number 4, I think. We're on the draw here, but I think we will keep. This might mean that our opponent's actually on the domain Yorion list with also Omnath and such. And this is probably a dragon. No, this is a Stoneforge Mystic? Okay. Probably Cauldron Complete. No, Sword of Fire and Ice. Alright. That's something that we will be able to deal with. Cauldron Complete would have been a bigger annoyance. So... But still, even there we have Lily, so it's also not too bad. Let's see what he does. I'm not going to counter a Birds of Paradise here, because Okay, no. Let's go one more time. Ditch this, don't want to have that one. And then I think this turn we're gonna go have him activate the thing here. And then go after the birds and the sword. Destroy short artifact, deal 2 damage. Yeah, it would be really weird if our opponent had a force negation here. I mean, it's always possible, I guess. And then not next turn, but the turn after next turn, we will have Croxa up. So next turn we're gonna go Thoughtseize and Counterspell. Or Thoughtseize and Snap Consider. Both is viable, I think. Now he's gonna go with Caldra Complete. Alright, good. But we have the Thoughtseize, so that's decent. And we can actually... Let's go Takenuma here, because then I don't have to... Ephemerate, Falador, Guardian, Solitude, and Vivien. Alright, so this is a Yorion Vivien combo that also somehow does feature other things. So I think Ephemerate would be a little bit problematic here for us, but other than that, should be okay. So Felidar Guardian is probably his play. Yeah, I think he's gonna attack here and then go with Felidar Guardian. At least from my perspective, that makes the most sense. Or not. Put that one into play. That's fine as well. Into his hand, I should say. I'll see whether or not he has more shit. So we could play the Croxa here, but that would mean leaving ourselves open. So I think I'm gonna force him to do something. So I'm not gonna play the Fury because of Ephemerate. And this way he will draw more stuff. I'm gonna do it this way because if he ephemerates the other Stoneforge, I think, or bounces it, I think he cannot copy anything. And that should mean it dies, right? I think that's the case. So let's do this. Can't ephemerate that one. And then we probably need a red. Could also go with that one. No. Red, blue. Black, blue. So if I were to go with the Croxa here, then my opponent would respond with I also can't do that really. With a Solitude, right? He's been lucky that he's drawn all the lands here in a row. On the other hand, though, I don't necessarily need... No, yeah, I think... we're not going to do anything here. And since I cannot go Counterspell, Snap, Counterspell, I'm just going to do it this way because that will still open myself to Snap, Bolt, and then Counterspell. So that's fine. Ether vial, you gotta be shitting me. Alright, yeah, that resolves, because that will give me the ability or opportunity to go with Snapcaster into K command, get a 3 for 1. Target player discards card, destroy target artifact. I could also get the Croxa back and like do double Croxa in that turn, but I think I want to keep the counter spell up because now he's pretty low on resources. He has to discard something, and then if he wants to go Solitude into Ephemerate, he has to ditch the Yorion as well. And then at some point, I think... Alright, I discarded the Felidor Guardian, which makes sense, I guess. So let's go with black, black, red, red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, discards Yorion, and now I think we have him. Should be decent now, because obviously he wants to go with Solitude there. That's not going to work, and then we can get him on swing back. Alright, let's attack first. Although he must know that it's pretty over here. Has another Solitude. Fuck my life. Alright. Yeah, has to bounce it, but we'll still be dead. If he draws a card, that's not good enough. Okay. Interesting. So, I have no clue what our opponent's deck actually consists of. Seems to have multiple combos, plus Stoneforge Mystic. So I think I'm gonna ditch the Croxa, I'm gonna bring in the Torak. That seems like a fair first step here. Then we need removal spell, we need counter magic. I think the Archmage Charms might be a little bit bad. On the other hand though, what's actually good here? We've seen Ephemerate. We've seen Planeswalkers, creatures. Maybe I want to ditch... I think I want to maintain the Liliana just for Kara complete as well. And also because it pumps the Torak. Do I want to get a Grim Lavamancer in? Archmage Charm seems weird here. I think I have to go a little bit lower to the ground. Let's try like this. That of course costs us a little bit of value, but the Toraks should be able to pull the game by themselves. So we just need to prevent everything else from happening beforehand. Huh. Are we running into a Veil of Summer here? Into this 80 card deck? I think we'll have to test it. Perfect. So it's a Sanctifier, and that one we're probably going to take because he only has fetch lands, which means that by turn 3 our Drowned Loch will also be active. So we will be able to prevent both a Teferi or an Eternal Witness. And then we need one more land. And then all the Snapcasters are online as well. Let's see. It's obviously possible that our opponent's not going to do anything. All right. So this is gone, this is gone. We get another land here. So I can actually go Snap Inquisition. Alright, there's just a Felidar Guardian now. Obviously still not super great because it can block very well, but he doesn't play it, which is good. And then now we do have the Thoughtseize up and ready as well, or just a counterspell. Alrighty. Let's take a look here. Okay, just a Felidar Guardian that's gone right now. And then the best draw for our opponents probably a Vivien. So things are gone. Damn it. Again. A double black for Liliana seems to be really, really problematic. So I'm gonna play out this dude right now. Lightning Bolt should give us a little bit of protection. And Torak is just a good card overall. Okay. Let's see what he draws first. Sort of fire, nice. And he wants to equip it as well. Alright, so that won't work. But I'm gonna let him try. And then we have 4 damage here. Putting him down to 6. And we have lethal in hand. We just like the mana right now. Felidar Guardian is a pretty good draw though. I mean, it doesn't help him now, but overall it would have been a good draw. And there's Takenuma as well, alright. So we're gonna do it just to showcase that we would have won in either case, but okay, GG. Alright. Welcome to round number 5. We're on the draw here. We have a very sorcery heavy hand, but I think it's okay. Okay. Yanji, that was already weird. Don't choose the play, yeah, if you don't want to play. Alright, let's go Inquisition. And now we have a very, very decent curve. So we can go as Merfolk again. What? What? Alright. Let's take the Type Shaper because Tide Shaper because you can't play the other thing. Alright, so now it's retaliation time here. This time around we have to win against Merfolk. Like last time it was an embarrassment with as much sideboard cards that we have for the matchup. But okay. So this is gone. Let's see whether or not. So next turn he's probably gonna go and respond to Liliana, I assume. Might not, but he could. Does have a Cavern of Souls, so it doesn't really make any sense for me to. I could also wait for one turn for the Kolaghan's command to do, to first get rid of the Merfolk Trickster. That might also be something that I want to do. The Polluted Delta is going to be a basic swamp, so that we can play both Kroxa and Liliana. And he discarded the Subtlety, alright, so this changes things. Him discarding Subtlety here in this spot. I assume that my opponent thinks I'm Death Shadow, that's why he's keeping the Dismember. But obviously that's not the case. If he's not playing anything here and just wants to go with the Merfolk Trickster, I'm going to keep up Kolaghan's command, otherwise we're going to kill him, this creature, with Lily. Obviously we also have to take... we have to be careful in regards to Suilun, but we will be able to play the Kroxa as well the turn after that. Alright, so Drownloch can also deal with a Suilun. So I think let's try to get the Lily down. It's a Suilun. Actually, a Suilun again. That's so fucking annoying. Alrighty. So I think we're gonna take up and ditch the Automated Charm. He discarded another Suilun. Okay, so I kept the counterspell just in case he has another Subtlety in hand. We know 2 out of 3 cards, but not the last one, so... Now we also have enough stuff in our graveyard. So I guess he could go Merfolk Trickster. I think I'm going to discard the counterspell here. Alright, yeah, now he's gotten rid of the Dismember. So if I were to play the Kroxa here, he could go with a Trickster, but that doesn't really help him, right? And he still has to discard something as well, so... I think I'm going to do that. I think, like, the only thing that he can have here... Okay, so he needs to have Merfolk Trickster tap this and then a Lord so that he can kill Liliana. Or a Harbinger of the Tides to bounce the Croxa. That's also a possibility. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna go do this first, because then I'm gonna deal 3 additional damage, which I otherwise wouldn't. Not the Lord of Alanis. Well, our Merfolk opponents are really drawing well. We're just gonna attack. Does have a dismember. Okay. But that means he's killing himself here. Because he's taking 3 more, then he has to sack the Trickster here. It was a good thought, but yeah. There's no card in his deck that can get him out of this spot. Alrighty, so game 1 goes to us. Now we only have to win 1 of the sideboard games. And that means I'm gonna ditch all of these again. Bring this in, bring all of this in, and then we're at 60 and that's fine. Yeah. Nope, that's not a keeper. It's mulligan. Dude. Alright, let's keep this. I guess we're gonna ditch the tar pits. Merfolk postboard seems to be incredibly difficult for us. So obviously I want it to be a black source. Now let's do it. Not gonna fetch before he attacks so that we save a life. Now, I do want to respond here. I think I want to see what we draw. Cool. I think I'm going to go Subtlety, Drown here. Then we're going to go Snap, Block 1. Because he's probably not gonna, like, he's gonna make the same play here as well, right? Then we can block the Tide Shaper. I put the Silver Gill on the bottom, never mind. Alright. Cool. And then the most scary thing is a Swirlon here by our opponent, but of course we do have a Liliana that can deal with it. So, alright, and if that's not the case, then we can just go with a K command. So I'm not going to play Liliana into open mana here. Exactly. So he will sack himself. Or does sacrifice a Merfolk, yeah. So we're gonna go with the snap into Lightning Bolt, because that way I still get a 2-for-1. I don't have to 1-for-1 here. There's Swirlon, right? Yeah. So, okay. So now we just have to hope that there's no Force of Negation and no Subtlety in his hand. Okay, that's great. That's great. Has another one, right? Yeah, probably. I feared as much, TBH. So Necroplasm itself isn't really bad here. But I also don't want to play it, so I think I'm gonna ditch this one. Interesting. Harbinger of the Tides. He's gonna attack the Liliana, right? I'll have to block. But if he does have... I have to protect my Liliana here, I think. No! 2 Master of Pearl Tridents. Oh man, that's unfortunate. 2 Swirloons into 2 Master of Pearl Trident. Wow. Yeah. I don't even know, like, what do I want to draw here? Wow, this is so unlucky. So I can kill the Master of Pearl Trident and get back Salty, but that's also not great. Really is infuriating. Fucking insane. Fucking insane. Alright, let's try again. This time on the play. Again, we actually have decent answers. Like, we have decent solutions for Swirlon as well. But, yeah. There's always a second or third one coming up. dude. Alright. I can't really ditch Croxa, so I'm gonna ditch the Creeping Torpid. Okay, Takenuma helps a little bit. Let's go Croxa first. So the thing is, it mills 3 cards as well. So if we were to flood out, then we could enable our Croxa that way, which is also pretty decent. And of course we can get Fury back that way as well. So we shall see. I think Takenuma is actually pretty decent in this stack, this shell. Interesting. Discarding a land there. I'm probably Silver Galad, right? Yeah. Cats. Okay. So, there is multiple issues here again. we're really drawing weird hands. We have so many spot removal spells, so many things. It's just not. Yeah, this is. I mean, he's sandbagging Swirloon again, and that's gonna be difficult to deal with. If this is not a Swirloon, then we're good, but if this is a Swirloon, then I have to go Fury, ditch the Lightning Bolt. It's fucking insane. Fucking insane. Okay. It's fucking insane. Fucking insane. So let's see if he has a subtlety here. If that were to be the case, obviously we're gonna subtlety ourselves as well. Yeah, don't tell me I have a second subtlety as well, dude. It's like insane. Ah, yeah, it's gonna be difficult. In any case, it's gonna be difficult. Either he has another Swirloon in hand, but I don't think so, because otherwise he wouldn't have protected it as much as he had here. Or he has Lords in hand, and that obviously means that his creatures are going to be unblockable, and that's also an issue. So, yeah, lots of issues right now. So my plan is to get Fury back with Takenuma. Hopefully survive 2 more turns so that we can actually do that. I mean, it would also just be great if we were to... Now we have a Snapcaster Mage, but no Lightning Bolt. This is really unreal. Okay, yeah, let's wait one more turn. Like, we win the pre-board games, and we lose the post-board games against Merfolk. That's fucking insane. That's impossible. Fucking impossible. Fucking impossible. So now we're taking 7. Great. No, we're not. We're taking 4. Okay. But next turn we're dead either way, so... So we're milling 3, so Croxai is a thing now, but obviously we either need something for a Snapcaster or... You gotta be fucking shitting me. We wouldn't have drawn a single fucking anything. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. I cannot ditch drown, right? So what happens? So we're not putting that into the graveyard. We're trying to kill one lord. Hopefully he doesn't have a third lord as well, because then we're definitely dead. That's a lord. You gotta be fucking shitting me. Fucking insane, fucking insane, fucking insane. Oh man. This is fuck my life. It's insane. It's fucking insane. And we already were on a mulligan, right? Just need a fucking spot removal and a fetch land, and that's it. But okay. GG's.